What's happening? Cody here. Thank you so much for joining me today. And in today's short video, I'm going to be showing you how I paint the great Maroon Bells in central Colorado in a winter setting. So, with that said, kick back for your 10-minute coffee break. Hopefully get a little something out of this as well. Cheers. Roll that intro. Alrighty, let's get started here. I think in the beginning stages, it's really important to establish a firm drawing before moving on into the painting. And the colors I will be using for this demo is titanium white, Naples yellow, yellow ochre, burnt sienna, burnt umber, ultramarine blue, and permanent sap green. And for a list of all the materials I will be using, those links are in the description below. Now, it's really important while working with a landscape to go from the background into the foreground. So in this case, the sky is the furthest away. So I want to get that established before I do anything else. And I really enjoy adding a moon into my landscape. That's just kind of my thing. So it makes that landscape a little bit more unique. And this may look like pure titanium white, but it is actually a mixture of titanium white and ultramarine blue and burnt umber. And I just added a little bit of that, but not much. And working with depth, it's really important to make the darks a little bit lighter than they are in the foreground. So in this case, the rocks are not pure black. They are a mixture of ultramarine blue, burnt umber, and titanium white. And when I move completely into the foreground, I just use pure ultramarine blue and burnt umber. So before wrapping this peak up, I just add some small details, like adding some Naples yellow into the mountains. Since I think it's really important while painting landscapes, especially winter landscapes, is to add some strong color in that white, because you never just want to leave it pure white. And while painting winter landscapes, I think it's really important to do the snow first and then add the trees over the top of it. So if you were to put the trees in first and then put the snow, try to paint the snow around it, it would take a lot longer and be a little bit more tedious. Now I just add some subtle highlights in these trees just to have a sense of light, since these trees are kind of in between shadow and being in direct sunlight. Right now I'm adding what will be a stand of aspen trees that have lost their leaves, and I'm just putting in the snow in between each trunk. And to break up the symmetry, I'm just adding this small pine tree, and since it is in shadow, I'm just simply suggesting the shape of it. And within a landscape, I think it's really important to have an area for the eye to rest. So there's areas of complexity, and there's areas where there's not really much complexity at all. So it gives more variety within the scene, and it gives the eye some space to move around. And while painting a winter landscape, it's really important to make sure the blue of the snow is much darker than the blue of the sky, or it'll just all blend together. And maybe another good tip would be, while painting a landscape like this one, is to have some of that toned canvas showing through. And the reason why I tone my canvas is it kind of balances the tone and color, because if I left the canvas completely white while painting a winter landscape, it would be very hard to gauge on where to put the highlights and how dark the shadows should be. So I would highly recommend toning the canvas before doing a landscape. One of my favorite parts to landscape painting is just adding these final little details at the end, because this is what really brings the whole image together. I'm just tightening some things up right now, getting rid of some of that tone canvas underneath. As I said, I still want to leave just a little bit of that showing through. Now the painting is almost done, but I think there's one thing missing. I decided to add a fox because with all the blue and white and green, I think it's good to have this splash of color right in the foreground. And with that, it's just a matter of signing it, and the painting is finally complete. Well, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Now, if you like this video, hit that like button. And I have loads more videos just like this one coming your way. So be sure to subscribe to this channel. As always, you can find me on Instagram at Cody Oldham Fine Art. But most importantly, head on over to my website at codyoldham.com and subscribe. I look forward to seeing you over there. And drink that cup of coffee you got there. It's stone cold.